Well, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. So tonight I'm not really going to wander very far. I'm going to try and see what images I can get using the 70-200 in the garden. Not necessarily macro, but see if I can try and get some plants, because there's some nice sun tonight because we've had rain for quite a while. So join me and let's see where this journey takes us. We've got this rhododendron in the front garden. We've kind of got a bit of a woodland bit going on as well, but what I'm doing is I'm looking for just pockets of light hitting these rhododendrons. So I've got a 400th of a second shutter speed. I've got a really shallow depth of field at f2.8 and I've got my ISO set at 400 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick out little details of the flowers, because my faster shutter speed should give me a darker background when I'm not shooting into the light. So what I'll do is I'll pick out a few, because there's some right interesting shadows. Right, so the other thing I'm realising, because I'm using the 70-200, the distance away from your subject, so if I'm trying to get close to get some details, the lens won't allow me because I'm too close because of the length, the focal length in the lens. So what I'll do is I'll move around this rhododendron, and if any of these images actually turn out, I'll share these images with you now. Alright, so compositionally, what I'm just trying to do here is look for something a wee bit different. So I'm going really low, then shooting up into the flowers, because I'm just trying to make best use of that light that's coming through the trees. But a lot of the plants are lit at a lower level, but even getting this composition from underneath up the way is actually really nice. And because I've got a fast shutter speed, I am actually able, well, I'm hoping this turns out, is to get a kind of really dark background and a lit. So there's the sun going away, so I'm going to lose a lot of the light at the moment. So these shots that I've taken just now at a lower composition, because it's sometimes when you shoot through the grass, it gives you a kind of soft texture as well. But, oh, there's the sun coming back. Right, I'm going to pop and have a wee nosy elsewhere and see what else we can capture. These 2 or 3 images here, I'll share them with you now. Tell you what I'm loving. Well, when the cars go past, it's noisy, but when the cars aren't there, it's really peaceful, and the bird chatter is quite a lot, so it's quite good. Right, so this area of the garden is all kind of big, huge, I don't know what you call them, but I know they're designed to soak up water. But what we've also got over here is, I think there's some kind of yellow triffid style flowers. You can tell I'm not a gardener. But what I'll do is I'll see if there's any images I can take with these yellow triffids, and if I can get a couple, I'll share them with you now. the garden earlier, as you'll see, all those leaves have been pretty well chewed. So there was a wee baby rabbit earlier having a good old munch at that, and if I've got any footage of that I'll share that with you. So I'm just looking over the tops of these leaves, and I'm just wondering if I can shoot across and just pick out some textures and then isolate in and then use some of the patterns of the leaves as close-ups that might give us some nice compositions. And then equally, because the rain's not long finished, as you'll see, these plants here have all got water drops on them. Now bear in mind, I'm not using a macro lens, I'm just using the 70-200 intentionally just to test this out. So I'll take 2 or 3 of these images, and if any of them turn out, then what I'll do is I'll share them with you now. Kind of waiting on the sun coming back, because the sun's kind of went behind the trees. But what I might do is I might use this as an opportunity to take photos of the leaves with the water drops on it, and I'll have a wee go. If they turn out, I'll share them with you now. Let's keep walking. I keep going forward and then looking back, and there's sometimes the light's hitting the plants and I'm getting quite a nice effect. Nothing there now, but I'll just keep walking further round. It's a nice wee rose here. There's no light. What I'll do is I'll walk to the bottom of the garden, and if I see anything, I'll catch back with you soon. I do have a foxglove here, it's a white one, and there's no sun, but I'm too close. So I'm having to go really low here. I'll need to go wider as well because the zoom lens is far too much. Well, that's quite nice actually. Right, there's some details inside the petals of these foxgloves. Right, I'm now too close because I'm getting the red square. What I'm looking for is a green focal length, a green square that lets me know I'm in focus, so it could be quite nice actually. My picture, and then depending on the composition that I've got, I can actually crop it and make it a wee bit more interesting. So what I have noticed, I don't know what those are, but there's some kind of purple flowers hanging here. So the sun's away, but I'm just hiking up the ISO, so I'm at ISO 800. That's quite nice, but if I get underneath, what I'm trying to do is make sure I've got a dark background, just so that when I take a shot of the flowers, the background's really dark. I'm kind of not in a brilliant, comfortable position there. Right, I'm just going to wait for the sun, and then I'm going to head over, because there's some interesting flowers on the other side. So before I go over, I've spotted there's a wee baby fern sticking out here at the base of the hut door, and I think if I go really low, I can use the daisies as kind of foreground bokeh, use the fern as a focal point, and then there's a yellow glow coming through the hedge. So if this works, I could have some of the buttercups in the foreground framing with a yellow glow. If I put the fern in the centre of my image, I'll have the kind of bokeh effect with the daisies and the yellow glow of the buttercups. And yeah, it might make it different, but what actually has also given me an idea now is, because there's that many buttercups and daisies here at this side of the garden, I think I'll put the camera really low and see if I can focus on some buttercups, and when I finish, I'll share these images with you now. Right, so some of these buttercup shots are actually pretty cool. So if I show you, so because I've got the lens lying on the grass, then I've got a whole bunch, I don't know if we can see that because of we've got a composition here where we've got an isolated or a lone buttercup on the right and a little one on the left. But the beauty is, it's going to be completely isolated because there's only going to be one buttercup in focus and the other one's out with the focal range plane, so everything's going to be really, really soft. So when you lie your camera down on the ground, especially the grass, because you've got that foreground grass in front of you, it diffuses your picture. So these images are going to be really, really soft. So I'll take 2 or 3 more and I'll share them with you, and then you get to see how you can use your camera to give you that kind of soft, quite mystical effect. So I hope you like them. Right, so there's some plants here that are nice, what look like pink fluffy plants, but the app has told me they're called Bistorta. So there's some ones, there's one that's kind of hanging over, and they might make quite an interesting shot from a distance. So what I'll do is I'll back off a bit, I'll see if I can isolate them, just to give them a wee bit of an arty feel. I know the light's against me just now, but I might be lucky and the sun might come out. As you can see, it's just keeking there behind the tree, but there's big huge clouds. Anyway, I'll take 2 or 3 shots here and I'll share these images with you now. Right, so there's a whole bunch of flowers here, those ones there, and they're called the Great Master Tort. So what I'll do is, there's a fair bit of wind picked up, so they're moving around, so I'm going to need a really fast shutter speed. And while I'm showing you them, the other thing that's caught my eye is, look at that wee purple flower with the yellow. So they could also make quite a nice shot. So what I'll do is, I don't think the sun's coming back, maybe not this side because that's a big huge cloud, and the light has made does make a massive difference. However, I'll give these a try, and if I'm finished, if these work out, I'll share them with you now. Right, I'm going to have to be hurried because my neighbour started to cut our grass. Right, I'm going to show you these wee geraniums there. So there's quite a few of them, and they might make quite a nice composition if they're isolated. So I'll take some shots of those geraniums, but also, I don't know what that's called, but it looks nice and soft and fuzzy. But I'll try and isolate some of those leaves because the wind's blowing everything everywhere. And when I finish taking these shots, I'll share them with you now. Alright, so I think all that noise of the lawnmower means my wee video is stopped for tonight. So I really hope that some of these images turn out. But if anything, just to prove that you don't need to go very, very far and you can use your own garden. And to be fair, I've not used a macro lens, I've used the 70-200 for the whole night, and I've absolutely used a shallow depth of field so that we've got a lot of depth in these images. Hopefully some of these images have turned out. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the images. I hope we can make a video of this. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because you know it's free. And if you press the bell notification, that will let you know the next time I post a video. So thanks very much for watching, and here's to the next video.